पशु पक्षी जोरे पाषाण विदारे सुनी जर
पशु पक्षी जोरे पाषाण विदारे सुनी जर
बोलो बोलो भाई चैतन्य निताई सुरारी
चैतन्य
संसार छाड़िया सेरा से मजिया मुखे बोलो हरि हरि
संसार मानिया शेर से मानिया मुखे बोलो हरि हरि
संसारे मजिया रोहिली पड़िया से पदे दिलो आशा
संसार
अपना कर्म भुंजाए सामन कहो लोचन दास अपना कर्म भजो भजो भाई चैतन्य निताई सुदृढ़ विश्वास करी संसार छारिया सेरा से मजिया मुखे बोलो हरि हरि देखो रे भाई त्रिभुवन नाई हे मन दयाल दाता
देखो रे भाई
पशु पक्षी झुरे पाषाण विधरे सुनी जार गुण गाथा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण
कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम
देखो रे भाई त्रिभुवन नाई हे मन दयाल दाता देखो रे भाई त्रिभुवन नाई हे मन दयालो दाता पशु पक्षी झुरे पाषाण वेदरे शुणी जार गुण गाथा पशु पक्षी झुरे पाषाण वेदरे शुणी जार गुण गाथा राम करुणा पाहु दुई जन निताई गौरचंद्रा राम करुणा पाहु दुई जन हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे अवतार सार शिरोमणि केवल आनंद कंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे हरनाम संकीर्तन की श्री श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु की गौरांग गौरनिताय की श्री श्री लक्ष्मी नृसिंहदेव भगवान की श्रीला गिरिराज कृष्ण की जय श्री श्री राधा रमन जी की जय गौर प्रमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद Sri Chaitanya Bhagavata, chapter 13, text 103. Digvijay is defeated by Nimai Pandit. We saw that how he was absolutely crestfallen because Nimai Pandit picked up a verse and found out what are fault and what are ornaments in the specific composition. And because Nimai is Krishna himself, so who can speak in front of Krishna anything? So he felt very much like a glowworm in front of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. you normally, if you have little sanity, when you see someone very big, you will feel, yes. And in fact, that should be a reason for celebration. But when we have false ego, then when we meet someone very, very advanced, very we feel envious, we feel not very happy about it, and that is the material disease that we have. So now let us continue here. Lasmi Saraswati Adi Jata Joga Maya Ananta Brahmanda Mohe Yano Savaro Chaya. Unlimited universes are bewildered by Maya, the shadow of Lasmi, Saraswati and other internal potencies of Lord. So Yogamaya removes the covered and thrown conditions born from the conditioned souls enjoying propensity and assists the conditioned souls in achieving the unalloyed service of Krishna. When the same Yogamaya is accepted as the object of enjoyment by persons who are averse to the Lord, she immediately bewilders, punishes and sends them to prison house, this material world. The conditioned souls in the material sky, which is their field of enjoyment, are eligible for being covered by ignorance due to their propensity for temporary enjoyment. Since the principles of ignorance, abomination and interruption are absent in the eternal abode of spiritual sky, even the Yogamaya has a propensity for favorable service to the Lord. Due to the enjoying spirit of the conditioned souls who are averse to the Lord, she bewilders them by creating illusion that are unfavorable for the service of Lord. Maya and her opulences, who are like shadows of the Lord's spiritual energies, such as Lasmi and Saraswati, spread a network of nescience which is converse to spiritual knowledge by avoiding mundane knowledge to the averse conditioned souls who are wandering throughout the universe. Maya, the external energy, and her opulences, who are the shadows of Mahalasmi, the internal potency of the Lord in the spiritual sky, and who bewilder the averse conditioned souls, are also bewildered on seeing Lord's supreme opulences as they constantly engage in the service of the Lord, while considering themselves the fully dependent maidservants of the Lord. In the mood of maidservants, they serve the Lord for His ultimate satisfaction and to create further illusion for the living entities who are averse to the Lord. She is seen from material point of view as Maya, the bestower of fruits of work. It is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.7.46, he saw the absolute personality of Godhead along with his external energy, which was under full control. Due to this external energy, the living entity, although transcendental to the three modes, thinks of himself as a material product and thus undergoes the reactions of material miseries. The material miseries of the living entities, which are superfluous to him, can be directly mitigated by the linking process of devotional service. So, dear devotees, suppose I have wealth and I am proud of my wealth, that means I am bewildered by Lasmi. I have knowledge and I am very much proud of my knowledge, means I am bewildered by Saraswati. And when I have material opulence, then, and that intoxicates me with arrogance, pride and illusion, means I am bewildered by the expansion of Yogamaya potency of Krishna in the form of Mahamaya that takes the shape of Durga, Lasmi and Saraswati. And we must realize that those who have all these opulences, but they engage everything in Krishna's service, that means they are simply blessed. They are not bewildered. So, in the case of Kesava Kasmiri, he was bewildered by Mother Saraswati. So, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started picking off the fault, immediately Saraswati deserted Kesava Kasmiri. Because in front of Master, Krishna Surya Sama, Maya hoy andhakar. Jahan Krishna, taha nahi Maya andhakar. So once Krishna is standing there, how can Saraswati be there? So Saraswati deserted Kesava Kasmiri. Yet she is also bewildered in the presence of the Lord. Therefore, she always stands behind him. This is what also Vyasadeva saw in his meditation. When the compiler of Vedas and even Anantasesa are bewildered in the presence of the Lord, then what is surprising if the Digvijay is bewildered? So for Digvijay to be bewildered is not a big thing, because Nimai Pandit is no ordinary Nimai Pandit, he is not a human being, he is actually the absolute truth. The word Vedakarta refers to either Lord Brahma or Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa. At the time of stealing the calves and on seeing the multi-headed Brahmas at Dwaraka, Brahma became bewildered. After compiling Mahabharata and Puranas on the bank of Saraswati, Vyasadeva also felt dissatisfied. Being bewildered by the wonderful pastimes of Gopijana Vallava, Shesa Anantadeva aspired to accept subordination to the gopis. When such great and powerful opulent demigods and sages become bewildered by the supreme opulence of Lord Narayana, then what is astonishing if either the insignificant living entities who are servant of those demigods and sages or the deceived Digvijay will also become bewildered. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita 7.14, this divine energy of mind consisting of three modes of material nature is difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. In Srimad Bhagavatam 8.12.39, the Supreme Lord speaks to Lord Shiva as follows: My dear Lord Shambhu, who within this material world but you can surpass my illusory energy? People are generally attached to sense enjoyment and conquered by its influence. Indeed, the influence of material nature is very difficult for them to surmount. And the Srimad Bhagavatam 10.14.21, Brahma prays to Lord Krishna as follows: O Supreme Great One, O Supreme Personality Godhead, O Super Soul, Master of all mystic power, your pastimes are taking place continuously in these three worlds. But who can estimate where and how and when you are employing your spiritual energy and performing these innumerable pastimes? No one can understand the mystery of how your spiritual energy acts. So anybody can be bewildered by Krishna. Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, Anantasesa. We saw how Balaram was bewildered during Brahma Vimohan Leela. So everybody can be bewildered by Krishna. And that is why Krishna is the original Vishnu. And everybody else can be bewildered by Krishna. It is impossible for ordinary living entities to understand the activities of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, his activities are transcendently glorious. In fact, the activities performed by the Supreme Lord are all meant for the deliverance of the conditioned soul. So anything Lord performs is meant for our liberation. The Supreme Lord, who incarnates out of his causeless mercy, regularly manifests his various pastimes in order to award supreme eternal benefit to the averse living entities of this world. All of his pastimes are performed with the desire to deliver the living entities. In this regard, one should particularly discuss the Srimad Bhagavatam, verse 10.14.8, beginning, तत्ते अनुकंपां सुसमेख्यमान गुंजानवात्मा कृतं विपाकं रुद्बाग् बपुभिर्विदधन् नमस्ते जीवितयो मुक्ति पदे सदाय वाक्. So being intoxicated by apparently sweet but ultimately inauspicious conception, the averse conditioned soul find and point out faults even in the eternally beneficial supreme will of the Lord. That is why they are conditioned or ignorant. When out of good fortune the living entity understands that he is the eternal servant of Krishna, then he no longer has any fear or distress. So here we need to recognize that every act of Krishna does multiple things, and all of them are auspicious. As he annihilates a demon, that very activity enthralls the devotees. And then some other, they take certain lessons for their own improvement. When Kesi is annihilated, a sadhaka should always pray that the Kesi within him must be vanquished by the causeless grace of Krishna. Where a pure devotee enjoys the very pastime, why? Because whatever Krishna doesn't have any tinge of three modes of material nature. So these are all very inconceivable things when Krishna performs pastime. As the Digvijay faced defeat, Lord's students were on the verge of laughing. The Lord, however, forbade them from laughing and sweetly spoke to the Brahmana. You please go home for today. Tomorrow we will discuss some more. You must be tired after a long recitation. It's getting late. Please go take rest. It must be almost like midnight. Lord's behavior was so gentle that whoever was defeated by him felt no distress. After defeating each of the teachers in Navadip, the Lord satisfied them with his sweet behavior. The Lord continued, let us go home today. Then after looking at your books, come tomorrow and answer my questions. Even after defeating someone, Lord did not insult them. Thus everyone was pleased with him. Such were the pastimes of the Lord. That is why all the learned scholars of Navadip were so affectionate to the Lord. As the Lord returned home with his students, the Digvijay felt great shame. In distress, the Brahmana thought, I have been personally blessed by Mother Saraswati. Till now, I have not met a single person, whether a scholar of Nyaya, Sankhya, Patanjala, Mimamsa, Vaisheshika or Vedanta, who could even compete with me, or to speak of defeating me. This Brahmana merely teaches children grammar. He defeated me. This is certainly an act of providence. This Brahmana boy is a teacher of ordinary grammar and primary education. That is how, although Nimai used to defeat everyone, still everybody used to think he's a small boy. Because his age was hardly, he started his toll at the age of 8. So obviously, and 8 to 16, 8 years. And in 8 years, he defeated everyone. Nobody is thinking that he is actually extraordinary. They are thinking he is a Nimai Pandit, is simply teaching school grammar to the students. But alas, due to misdeeds, I had to face defeat by him. Among the 6 limbs of Vedas, grammar is like the face of the personified Vedas. As a preliminary scripture for students engaged in studying the scripture. But it is an undisputed fact that one cannot become expert in literature, alankaras, smritis, or philosophical works simply by possessing expertise in learning and teaching grammar. Nevertheless, this young boy, who is expert in grammar, has defeated even an experienced champion of the scriptures like me. It appears that Saraswati benediction has proven false, which awakens doubt in my mind. Otherwise, have I committed some offense at her feet? Is that why my intelligence was diminished? Since I have been defeated by this young Brahman grammarian, I can now understand that the benediction I received from my worshipable goddess Saraswati Devi has proved a complete failure. Therefore, various doubts are arising within my mind. The goddess whom I had pleased and from whom I thus received the benediction for becoming a Digvijay must be displeased as a result of my offense. So this is the distinction between those days scholars and currently those who are scholars. Current scholars, they have no idea even the presence of demigods. At least previously, the scholars, they pleased the demigods, and by their grace, they became Digvijay. Otherwise, why would my great ingenuity in learning be defeated by an ordinary young grammarian? I must find out the cause of my defeat. Thinking in this way, the Brahmana began chanting his mantra. After chanting for some time, the distressed Brahmana fell asleep. In a short time, Saraswati appeared before him in a dream. Goddess Saraswati glanced mercifully on the fortunate Brahmana and confidentially spoke as follows. O best of the Brahmanas, listen. As I disclose to you secrets of the Vedas. Karo sthane kah jadi esa kala katha tabe tumi shigra hoiba alpayu sarvatha yan rathani tomara ilo porajaya Ananta Brahmanda Natha Sai Sunishaya. If you disclose these topics to anyone, you will meet a quick death. Know for certain that he by whom you were defeated is the Lord of innumerable universes. He is the absolute truth, and this is the confidential revelation by Mother Saraswati to Digvijay. Saraswati Devi appeared in the dream before Digvijay Pandit, who had chanted her mantras, and said, if you disclose to anyone the most confidential topic that I am telling you regarding the covered incarnation of Lord, then your death is certain. It is said that since Kesava Bhatta, the spiritual master of Gangalya Bhatta, revealed the information about Sriman Mahaprabhu that was given to him in dream by Saraswati, he met with a premature death. Therefore, Gangalya Bhatta again initiated a Brahmana from Kashmir and gave him the name Kesava. From this popular hearsay, it is clearly understood that Digvijay Pandita referred to herein is not Kesava Kashmiri. Rather, he is a Pandita named Kesava Bhatta. I am an eternal maid servant at his lotus feet. I am embarrassed to appear before him. The illusory energy of the Lord cannot take precedence, being ashamed of her position. But those who are bewildered by her always talk nonsense, being absorbed in thought of it is I, it is mine. So you will find even our devotees, they start speaking non-stop, as if they know Brahmabhuta Prasannatma na saswati na kankhyati. And when they start speaking, you know what they are speaking, but they are thinking, I am Professor Frog. I have understood Atlantic Ocean while being situated in a well. So, I am just reading the last paragraph here. Without understanding their relationship with Supreme Lord, both those who give respect and those who accept respect are eligible for being bewildered by Maya. Suppose somebody is giving me respect, I am able to accept it. And if I am giving respect to others, that means I am bewildered by Maya. Because we are supposed to give respect to everyone, not because of their some mundane scholarship or mundane opulence. The respect should be that everyone is Krishna's servant. So then, that respect for everyone, not one or two person. Normally, we respect a big fellow, even as a devotee. Here is a billionaire, respect him. And here is a bhikmanga, reject him. So as a devotee also we do this, which is very offensive. So when it says, amanina manadana, means it's to everyone, not one or two person. The Supreme Lord certainly knows my duplicity. Maya, like a deceitful wife, is ashamed to stand before the Lord. In other words, she stands behind the Lord. Being bewildered by this Maya, the living entities proudly think in terms of I and mine. Aversion to the Lord should herein be understood as the back of the Lord. As soon as one is averse to the Lord, he becomes influenced by Maya. But when he is inclined towards the Lord, the influence of Maya is not found. O Brahmana, although I speak through your tongue, in front of him I have no power. What to speak of me, even Lord Anantasesa, who explains the Vedas with thousands of mouths, who is worshipped by Brahma and Shiva, who is also bewildered in his presence. He is the Supreme Brahman, the eternal, pure and complete, and inexhaustible Lord, who is situated in everyone's heart. Fruitive activities, mental speculation, material knowledge, pious and impious activities, direct and indirect perception, and more than I am able to say, all these are destroyed by the Lord. You just met in form of a Brahmana. So Saraswati is teaching Kesava Bhatta or Digvijayi as Nimai Pandit is Supreme Brahman, the eternal, pure, complete, inexhaustible Lord who is situated in everyone's heart. Sri Gaurasundara lies in the ocean of milk in the form of Aniruddha, the localized super soul in the heart of all living entities, lies in the Garbhodaka ocean in the form of Pradyumna, the aggregate super soul. and source of all universes. He is complete, undivided, infallible, eternally pure. Since he is Kshirodakasai Vishnu, considering him separate from Garbhodakasai Vishnu is an obstacle for achieving full knowledge. Since he is Garbhodakasai Vishnu, considering him separate from Kshirodakasai Vishnu is an obstacle in self-realization. Since he is Karanadakasai Vishnu, considering him separate from Sankarsana is an obstacle in complete realization of the Absolute Truth. Actually, one Absolute Truth, original personality Godhead Gaura Krishna, is Baladeva. The first Chaturvya, the second Chaturvya, the three Vishnus lie on the Karana, Garbhodaka, Shira ocean. Considering localized aggregate Karana, Garbha and Virata forms of Vishnu as separate from Absolute Truth enhances the conditioned souls, material conception and illusions. In order to remove these conceptions, Saraswati Devi disclosed that Sri Gaurasundara is source of all Vishnu incarnations and not different from Brajendranandana, son of King of Braja. So, this idea that we see in a partition manner everything. Here is Kshirodakasai Vishnu, different from Garbhodakasai Vishnu. Garbhodakasai Vishnu, different from Karanadakasai Vishnu. Karanadakasai Vishnu, from Karanadakasai and Garbhodakasai Vishnu has come, expanded. So Garbhodakasai Vishnu is inferior and Karanadakasai Vishnu is superior. So this kind of material idea is suicidal. We actually become victim of such suicidal tablet or medicine. A tablet or medicine, if that kills you, what do you gain? So, we are attached to fruitive activities, mental speculation, material bondage, pious, impious activities. We are also influenced by our so-called direct, indirect perception, and more than I am able to see. All these are created and destroyed by the Lord you just met in the form of Brahmana. That means everything that is being presented to us in this world is different manifestation of Krishna's energy, and they manifest according to Krishna alone. The word karma refers to Vedic rituals such as performance of fire sacrifices, which aim at enjoying the fruits of those activities in this world. The goal or destination of karma is bhukti, or material enjoyment. The goal or destination of jnana, or speculating on impersonal Brahman, is mukti, or liberation. The goal or destination of Bhagavad Bhakti, or devotional service to Supreme Lord, is one, not separate or non-different. In other words, it is Bhagavat Prema, or love of God. The word vidya in this verse refers to the material knowledge, the purpose of which is sense gratification. In Mundaka Upanishad it is stated, Tatra para rig vedo, yajur veda, sam vedo, atharva veda, siksha kalpo, vyakarana, niruktam, chando, jyotisam iti. All the Vedas, Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sam Veda, Atharva Veda, they are corollaries known as Siksha, Kalpa, Vyakarana, Nirukta, Chanda, Jyotisha, belong to the inferior system of material knowledge. The word Subha, Asubha means auspicious and inauspicious, or good and bad. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, Kim Badram, Kim Abhadram Va, Daitya Syavastuna Kyat, Vachoditam Tada Anrutam, Manasa Dhyatam Evacha. That which is expressed by material words or meditated upon by the material mind is not ultimate truth. What therefore is actually good or bad within this insubstantial world of duality, and how can the extent of such good and bad be measured? In Chaitanya Charitamrita it is said, द्वैता भद्रा भद्र ज्ञान सब मनोधर्म यही भालो यही मंद यही सब भ्रम. In the material world, conception of good and bad are all mental speculations. Therefore, saying this is good and this is bad is all a mistake. The word drushya drusha refers to all objects situated in direct or indirect perception. Another reading for this word is dushya dushya, which means eatable and non-eatable, pure and impure items of material enjoyment. Devotional service to the Lord is neither created nor destroyed. Everything else has a creation and a destruction. That object by whom this creation and destruction is accomplished is the Supreme Lord Sri Gaurasundara, whom you have seen as a young Bengali Brahmana grammarian. Though he is the only cause of creation, maintenance and annihilation of this world, he is the controller of Maya and transcendental to three modes of material nature. Therefore, do not accept him as the Lord Brahma, who creates all material objects under the shelter of passion, or Lord Shiva, who annihilates under the shelter of ignorance. Another reading of karma is bhukti, or material enjoyment. Another reading for a drushya drusya is dushya dushya. Those items that are seen through our mundane vision are called drushya. Items that are beyond our mundane vision, most difficult to understand, yet are nevertheless material, are called adrushya. One's perception of Yogamaya, the spiritual potency of the Lord, from the platform of devotional service, and another's perception of Mahamaya, the material energy, from the platform of material enjoyment, are not the same. So, as I have told many times, that in this world, according to our nature of revolt against Krishna, Krishna creates many layers of illusion, and we take those illusion to be real or factual, and we become victim of those manifestations of Maya or illusory energy. But these manifestations will be there as long as we have not surrendered to Krishna. Because if you have surrendered to Krishna, why Krishna will create illusion for you? If I am surrendering to Krishna, I am really eager to meet or serve Krishna, Krishna will be very eager to remove the curtain of Maya, curtain of ignorance. But because we are attached to our illusion, we are attached to our ignorance, we do not want to be purified, and hence sometimes that illusion comes in the form of a opposite sex, sometimes it comes in the form of a bungalow, sometimes it comes in the form of a great professional career, sometimes it comes in the form of so many ways it comes. So anything that makes us to act in an un-Krishna conscious way means they are manifestation, variegated manifestation of illusory energy under the direction of Krishna. So that is why we have to surrender to Krishna. Know for certain that everyone, including Lord Brahma, enjoys happiness and distress according to his will alone. So, how much surrender we have to Krishna, only Krishna knows. So, if you are even 1% not surrendered to Krishna, that means you are surrendered to Krishna 99%, but there is still 1%, like Maharaj Bharat. He was 99.9% Krishna conscious, I would say, or even 99.99999. And his un-Krishna consciousness probably was 0.01. And And because of that, that 0.01 ignorance that is there, that ignorance can make me to become a deer, like Maharaj Bharat, a great king. He gives up everything, goes to Gandaki river, establishes an ashram there. And for what? Finally he becomes a deer. But then, that may be very negative or very, not very encouraging thing, but it's very encouraging for me, because in the body of a deer, he was fully Krishna conscious. So it doesn't matter. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, Kita janma hau jatha tua dasa. Bair mukha brahma janme nahi asa. If you are proposing me to become the next Brahma, but next Brahma is averse to Krishna, I am not interested in that. But I am interested to become an insect if that insect can be used in Krishna's service. Know for certain that everyone, including Lord Brahma, enjoys happiness and distress according to his free will alone. A very significant statement. Listen, dear Brahmana, all incarnations such as Matsya and Kurma are non-different from him. In the form of Lord Varaha, he rescued the earth. In the form of Nrsimha, he protected Prahlad. In the form of Vamana, he is the life and soul of Bali. The Ganges appeared from his lotus feet. So why he is saying that? Because just the the previous evening, he praised Ganga by composing choicest poetry. And Mother Saraswati is saying that from his lotus feet emanates Ganga. So by saying this, Saraswati is giving ample instruction to Kesava Bhatta that here is Krishna himself. This Lord appeared at Ayodhya, then killed Ravana as one of his innumerable pastimes. He is known as the son of both Vasudeva and Nanda. Now he has appeared as the son of a Brahmana to enjoy scholastic pastimes. Do the Vedas know this incarnation of the Lord? Who has the power to know unless the Lord reveals himself? The title of Digvijay is not the real fruit of your chanting mantras to worship me. The real fruit of your chanting is that you have now directly seen the Lord of innumerable universes. Therefore, O Brahmana, go immediately, surrender yourself at his lotus feet. Don't ignore my word by considering this only a dream. I am controlled by your chanting and have therefore informed you of that which is known to the Vedas. Speaking these words, Saraswati disappeared and the most fortunate Brahmana woke up. Immediately after getting up, the Brahmana went in the early morning to the Lord's residence. The Brahmana came and offered his obeisances to the Lord, who picked up the Brahmana and embraced him. The Lord said, O Brahmana, why have you come so early? What is the reason for this behavior? The Brahmana replied, it is all due to your merciful glance. The Lord said, you are the champion of learning. Why are you treating me like this? Digvijay replied, please listen, O King of Brahmanas. Just by worshipping you, all one's activities become successful. You are the Supreme Lord Narayana, but you have appeared in Kali Yuga in the form of a Brahmana. Who has the power to recognize you? Doubts arose in my mind when you asked me questions that I was unable to answer. O Lord, all the Vedas confirm that you are devoid of pride. Now I have seen this with my own eyes. There is no doubt about it. Although you have defeated me 3 times, you have maintained my prestige. Is this possible for anyone other than the Supreme Lord? Therefore, you are certainly Lord Narayana. I met with innumerable scholars wherever I have gone. Gauda, Trihuta, Delhi, Kashi, Gujarat, Vijayanagara, Kanchipura, Anga, Bengal, Andhra, Odisha. What to speak of refuting my statements? None of those scholars had even the power to understand them. Though I am such a scholar, I was still unable to establish my conclusions before you. Where did all my intelligence go? This is not an astonishing achievement for me, for you are the Lord of Saraswati. She personally told me this. I came to Navadip at a most auspicious time. Although I was drowning in the dark well of material life, I somehow saw you. I was bewildered by new science and material desires, and I cheated myself as I wandered throughout the world, forgetful of my constitutional position. I met you by some great fortune. Now please deliver me by your merciful glance. It is your nature to engage in the welfare of others. Indeed, there is no shelter or source of compassion other than you. O Lord, please instruct me in such a way that I may have no material desires in my heart. After speaking many plaintive words in this way, Digvijayi humbly offered prayers to the Lord. Hearing the Brahmana's submissive word, Sri Gaurasundara smiled and replied, Listen, O best of Brahmana, you are most fortunate, for a Saraswati resides on your tongue. Conquering the world is not the proper use of the knowledge. The proper use of knowledge is to worship Krishna. Try to understand, when one gives up his body, he cannot take wealth and reputation with him. So Mahaprabhu started speaking like Krishna. That is why the devotees renounce material endeavors and serve the Supreme Lord with firm determination. Hooray, Sarvatma Sham. What it says? Therefore, that is why devotees renounce material endeavors and serve the Supreme Lord with firm determination. That is why devotees renounce material endeavors and serve Krishna with firm determination. Therefore, O Brahmana, give up all materialistic association. Immediately begin to worship the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. So, dear friend, this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instruction. Give up materialistic association. We are living within IIT, but we are not within the IIT. We are living in the IIT, but we are not here. We have got a nice place, but we are using everything in Krishna's service. There are many temples in West, you won't find such a big temple room. Yes, you won't find such a big temple room. When for the Gopal Krishna Maharaj came here, when he saw this such a big, this is really temple room, Maharaj was telling. So the idea here is that this is what we need. We need to use everything in Krishna's service. We have, you see, the lights, cameras, everything. Like karmis would use, but we are using it for Krishna. So, Krishna is very kind. If you really serve him, he gives you everything. Sarvatma Sham, he lost his sleep. He was so much under tension. I can pray that all of you give 100% of your life to Krishna. That's it. My only happiness is when you give everything to Krishna. That is my only happiness. Up to the time of your death, serve Krishna with confidence. Very clear instruction Mahaprabhu gave. To whom? Digvijay. Digvijay got full instruction. Know without doubt that goal of knowledge is to fix one's mind on Krishna's lotus feet. The best advice I can give you is that devotional service to Krishna is the only substantial truth throughout all the worlds. After saying this, the Lord embraced the Brahmana in satisfaction. Krishna, who cannot be approached by the best of yogis, best of the dhyanis, best of the jnanis, the same Supreme Lord embraced with affection Digvijay. Imagine what a fortune it is. Being embraced by the Lord of Vaikuntha, the Brahmana was freed from all material bondage. The Lord said, O Brahmana, give up your pride, worship Krishna, be merciful to all living entities. What Saraswati told you in confidence should not be told to anyone. If one discloses topics that are more confidential than those of the Vedas, then know for certain that his duration of life is diminished. His advancement in next life will be checked. After receiving the Lord's instruction, the best of the Brahmanas offered repeated obeisances to Nimai Pandit. Then after offering repeated obeisances to the Lord, the Brahmana departed in great satisfaction. On receiving Lord's instructions, renunciation, knowledge and devotional service immediately manifested. On receiving Lord's instructions, renunciation, knowledge and devotional service immediately manifested in the body of Brahmana. Receiving the mercy of Sri Gaurasundara, Digvijay Sri Kesava Bhatta became completely successful. He offered his obeisances to Sriman Mahaprabhu's lotus feet, knowing them to the source of all auspiciousness. Being empowered by the Lord, Kesava Bhatta simultaneously achieved great qualities such as service to the Lord, realization of the absolute truth, and detachment for activities not related to Krishna. Though he was initiated in the Vaishnava line, his descendants later on became bereft of Sri Gaura's mercy. His pastimes of converting the non-devotee Kesava Bhatta into a devotee is most confidential, because up to that point Gaurasundara had not yet bestowed mercy on anyone in the world to advance in devotional service. The process of devotional service that Kesava Bhatta achieved by receiving the mercy from the lotus feet of Sri Gaura is being respected by his followers even today. What time it is now? 9:27. We have very little, we will finish it today. Okay? The Digvijay's pride was immediately destroyed. He became more humble than a blade of grass. He then gave all his elephant, horses, palanquins, wealth and whatever other assets he had in charity to suitable persons. In this way, Digvijay continued his travel as a detached person. Such are the pastimes of Sri Gaurasundara. The natural characteristics of his mercy is that a person renounces even the position of a king to take the position of a mendicant. The prime example of this in Kali Yuga is Sri Davir Khasa, who left the kingdom to live in the forest. Davir Khasa is Rupa Goswami. He was the finance minister. Even when Krishna's servant obtained that for which everyone in the world works hard, they easily give it up. One finds happiness in kingly opulences only when he does not know the glorious happiness derived from devotional service. Leaving talks of happiness from kingly opulence far aside, the devotees of Krishna consider even the happiness derived from liberation is insignificant. Nothing is obtained without the Lord's merciful glance. Therefore, Vedas enjoin one to worship Krishna. The Digvijay was thus delivered from material life. Such are the wonderful narration of Sri Gaurasundara. Soon everyone in Navadip heard that Gaurasundara defeated Digvijay. People were all astonished. They said, Nimai Pandit is a great scholar. He has even defeated Digvijay. We have never heard of such a learned scholar as Nimai. The pride of Nimai Pandit is justified. Now his reputation has spread. Someone said, if this Nimai studies logic, he will certainly become a Bhattacharya. Someone else said, oh brother, let us all together award him the title Badi Simha. Badi means debate. Simha means lion. Lion in a debate. Yet, even after seeing all this, the influence of Lord's illusory energy is such that people still did not understand him. In this way, everyone in Navadip broadcast the pure glories of the Lord. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the residents of Navadip who had the ability to see all these pastimes. Whoever hears the topics of Lord Gauranga defeating Digvijay is never defeated anywhere. Whoever hears the enchanting scholastic pastimes of Lord Gauranga will certainly become his servant. The devotees of the Lord who are expert in ascertaining the transcendental nature of the Lord discuss the pastimes of Digvijay's defeat by the omnipotent Sri Gaurasundara and thus engage in the worship of Sri Gaura. Therefore, the inferior logicians can never defeat them in any way. Those whose resource is humility based on material knowledge glorify material arguments and fame obtained through such arguments. Yet, since they are situated on an extremely low platform, the Lord's devotees who are inclined towards his service can easily understand the deceitfulness of their material knowledge. Which is another form of nescience, and by the help of intellectual consideration, they hear the confidential scholastic pastime of Gaurasundara, who is Vidya Vadhujivanam, the husband of transcendental knowledge, thus become more enthusiastic in their worship of Gaura. Whoever hears the chanting of enchanting scholastic pastimes of Lord Gauranga will certainly become his servant. Accepting Sri Chaitanya and Nityananda Prabhu as my life and soul, I, Vrindavan Das, sing the glories of their lotus feet. Dear devotees, by the mercy of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, we are able to complete the chapter 13 today. What we read in the chat in chapter 13, we read Digvijay came with a big procession to defeat or conquer the last frontier of knowledge, that is Navadip. Navadip teachers all fled in fear, leaving only Nimai Pandit, who was very young, who was sitting in the Ganga Ghat and discussing with his students. His students informed that one Digvijay has come and he has defeated the world, and everyone has fled from Navadip out of fear. Mahaprabhu said, whoever he is, pride will destroy or annihilate everyone. And exactly at that time, Digvijay reached there, and there was discussion. Digvijay composed some songs, hundreds of prose in glorification of Mother Ganga, and Mahaprabhu find fault in one of those verses, and Digvijay could not even utter a single word, because Nimai Pandit is not an ordinary human being, he is actually Krishna. So this is what it is. So you have to realize that Digvijay was also, although defeated, but Mahaprabhu converted him to a Vaishnava. Digvijay donated everything that he had to right persons, and then went, left the place, left Navadip as a mendicant. So this pastime where Mahaprabhu not only defeated Digvijay, Digvijay was revealed by his master, Mother Saraswati. Who is Nimai? Nimai is the same person who appeared before as a Narasingha, as Varaha, as Matsya, as Rama, as Krishna, and these are all very sacred topics, but don't reveal to anyone. Keep it with yourself and surrender to him. He will surely give you shelter. So Saraswati revealed who is Nimai Pandit, and Kesava Bhatta went with folded hands to the place of Mahaprabhu and surrendered himself. So this is the story of Digvijay, and I hope you enjoyed this pastime. Very wonderful pastime. Thank you very much. We stop here. Today I have some video to see, so I will not take any question. If you have any question, tomorrow morning in Bhagavatam class, you can ask. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.